Alright, in the bottom left playing as Emeric, we've got Skyro up against Mr.Cat playing Vesper in the orange. And I have no idea how this matchup plays out now, because if you'd asked, like 6 weeks ago, a month ago, I would have been like, oh, Vesper's the better person here, but we've been seeing so much from Emeric recently that I don't know how it's going to play out.
Me and Mastro have definitely at least discussed a lot about Emeric uh, in calls before, and I think at least with this matchup, it's still Vesper stronger, although Emeric can still be it's map dependent really. Depends how easy it is to get Treb out, and that's for the
On this
most part.
map,
Yeah, on this map, it's a little scary. You both sides have to play pretty precisely for to
I
keep
mean,
balance.
Emeric has really good trebs this map, but turns out it's usually a heavy golem spam map. And Emeric doesn't dislike golem spam, but it's really hard to know when you can get trebs. Like if you go
Yeah.
trebs super fast, you can fall behind on golems. And we see
Yes.
knight immediately, and I don't agree with that because it's not a golem. Golems are just too good on this map. They come out too fast and they gain like econ immediately. They
Yeah,
beat
I agree.
basically every other strategy unless you're like Emeric or Caesar. Caesar obviously can't get the golem strategy to work that well. But actually is not useless on the map because you can do stuff with like infantry plus dragons. I'm still unsure. I haven't finished my prep on this map. And Emeric of course needs Treb.
Yeah, and I pretty much agree. Golems seem really strong on this map from what I've seen played of it.
Oh,
And we're
there's the
already
trap.
seeing we're seeing the Trev. We're seeing Emeric play the map. They're playing a PvE game right now. Just setting up the thing and then nuking everything. And they already have a groove by this point, or at least a tier 1, probably close to tier 2 soon now, because the decap.
Yeah, they should
And
put them in, like,
Mr.Cat has gone golem. So you see how fast it goes out and immediately it starts pressuring.
Whereas you can see the knight here is, it is applying pressure, but it's gonna have to run into stuff to do that, and knights don't really like running into stuff by themselves. From my experience at least, you usually want to back them up.
I mean, there's a CO on one side and a golem on the other side, so like
Yeah, what
every
are you
side
gonna
is
do?
something the knight can't really mess with.
no, there's a dragon along with that golem too, so.
Yeah. Treb is starting to get into the position now, which means Vesper is going to have to respect it, but it's Vesper can do Vesper things still. Like as long as Vesper can get groove, they can eventually attack into it, right? Especially if they make a mistake and leave a tile open or something, Vesper can pretty quickly
And
take advantage of open gaps.
I'll note the air trooper buy. Air trooper does like a decent chunk to Treb. I mean, not so much under crystal, but still.
It does 75 base.
65,
So
I
it's
think. Wasn't it 65?
I thought it was 75 base, but it's on like complaints. It's like 65 or
Whatever, it's one.
70. It's enough to be actually kind of worth to fight against Emeric, because that means they can't like leave a tile open.
Oh, look at the range on that. Just all the way across the map. I mean, I noticed that, like, Vesper really backed up a lot, and I think that was just because they recognized that Skyro was going to do the tier 2 that turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the trip is already kind of oppressive.
Vesper, ooh, 90%, so taking a long time to get that tier 1.
But they should have it by the time Emeric tries to make anything out of the Treb, which is good. So even though they don't get it this turn, they'll get it next turn to prevent too much damage from happening.
And this is weird. Emeric didn't really get punished by like lots of early golems, so maybe the really early trap timing is good. But I also think Mr.Cat didn't like play this optimally. Maybe the golem should have flipped Econ instead of centralizing. Like, should have gone further
Wait.
down.
Does the Treb just die to dragon here?
No, because
didn't-
it's in crystal, but
Well, it's on
it
road
looks
though.
like it should hit.
Oh, but no, he's just gonna go
Yes.
for Emeric instead. Okay, there's Vesper Groove, so I
Yeah.
think
But
we're
Vesper
gonna...
Groove could have gotten the dragon if it hit Treb anyway.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it still probably should have hit Treb. Because I mean, Emeric is
No.
only so much to heal up, right? Even by a logging camp, it's like, as long as Emeric is not dead this turn, that pressure is gone away, you know. Whereas Treb's a little more annoying. You want to be hitting stuff with Treb.
And yeah, this forces like both Emeric and the Treb to move back a bit. But Vesper popped her groove, so now it's like
Emeric will now,
yeah,
can fight
Emeric
back.
kind of tanks this and then just takes over the game slowly, right?
Because the Treb
Ooh.
is out, which is part of the reason why I was.
But this is not what's happening. Emeric has not healed and elected to just stay there, relying on just the crystal defense.
Oh, that's 3 sides, and that's a air
Yeah.
trooper suicide too. I think Emeric's just dead.
This looks
And-
pretty dead because they're CO as well, right?
And Emeric could have been overkilled by even more, I think, because that golem is in range to was in range to clear what the knight cleared, that mage in the river. So you could have had the knight hit from below to be just absolutely sure that there's a lethal. But it just doesn't matter. Vesper on the
Yeah,
sword
there's,
will
there's
be
many
enough.
ways to kill here, it looks like.
Oh, wow, Vesper just does it.
Yeah, actually doesn't even need the sword.
Okay, and Mr.Cat takes game 2. So that was
This ties the set.
yeah, it does tie the set, and yeah, I don't really know why Emeric just stood there on low health.
So I think after the game, Skyro said they got they didn't notice that the crystal didn't cover the mage on the river.
Ah, yes.
But I think mage dies there anyway.
Yeah, because it got hit by a knight, right?
Yeah, so,
So
like
that's a
on,
+1 defense, which knight will kill on anyway. So
and I mean you didn't have to use the knight. You could have used golem, which does the same, and then you also have the knight. So even if Emeric
nah, but
gotten
Golem was
healed
injured.
there. Not that golem, the new one. The new
Oh,
one was
okay.
exactly 5 tiles away. I counted it here because we weren't sure. Mr.Cat thought it was off by 1. But I counted it again here. So the golem clears the mage, and then even if Emeric is full health, you have suicides then. You have like a suicide of a sword, and you also suicide the 4 air trooper. And I think even with full HP, like the 9 golem, Vesper, and knight just kill even under crystal after the suicides. So like Emeric just can't stand there. It's like
Yeah, it's a little too greedy to hold that forwards. With a
Okay, we got some more context from Skyro in chat. So they didn't think the knight would get one-shot by the dragon, which I think the knight was on a road. So
yeah, it was on a road.
yeah, I mean, dragons still really hurt hard when stuff's on a road. I mean, it's a lot. It's very, very nerfed from what it was, but it's still like really strong.
It's mostly nerfed versus commander, like against other stuff. It still just destroys them. Oh, I guess like the crit is nerfed too. I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
But the base damages are so high.
yeah. Like you could be on effectively a mountain, and if you're on a road tile, like 'cause mountain as far as defense, but if you're on a road tile, you're still gonna get one shot.
But yeah,
Yeah.
basically Crystal makes you 130 HP, but Dragon almost kills Knight normally, and does like 150 damage, 1.5. Okay, so you can just reason it out in your head that it should kill.
Yeah, I mean, I do think because I mean the blunder worked out in Mr.Cat's favor, but I do feel like the trap should have been the obvious target for the dragon there.
Maybe it didn't
Yeah.
kill, but even if it didn't kill, it's probably better to completely cripple it. Surely it wouldn't have been like very healthy after a hit from the dragon.
yeah, I
right?
mean it's also an expensive heal as well because it's a treb.
Yeah,
So,
much
like,
more
here
expensive the
it's
commander.
so even though the dragon is even though like the treb is only like 1,000, so you'd probably be healing like 500 to 800, right? That's like such a, like you're not only if like killing the treb for a few turns, right? You're also it's just you get a lot of value out of it not being online because it's just
Yeah.
that strong when it's in crystal.
And like here, the correct play for Skyro here was to just back off and just win the game, because say you can just say, haha, you wasted groove to get like very little. Now I just walk back and
Yeah, you wasted groove to pit commander. Lol, let me go heal him.
yeah, and then next turn I advance again, and lol, now I win the game.
Yep.
But this wouldn't have been available if the trap had gotten crippled. It's like, okay, you Vesper grooved, and now if I back off, I don't have that trap anymore. Maybe you can keep attacking me. Maybe you can, break my formation completely. Or
Yeah.
maybe, okay, we both go walk back, but I lost some value. I need to, waste some turns healing the trap and bringing it back into position. It's like, it's a game. And
it's
now
not
it
even,
wasn't
yeah.
a game. It was like, if Emeric didn't die here, I think, like, Skyro kind of takes over the game.
Well, they did die, unfortunately, so we're gonna actually. I guess fortunately for us, we're gonna go into a game 3 in Skyro, saying yeah, we'll get a third match, more content. So I'm okay with that. Anyway, let's go into the next game.